Okay, so now in this one, I'm going to talk about the current situations and the total situation in karma. Okay, there's about 36 or 37, 38, 40% that are radically fucked in karma. Okay. There's about, out of that, about another 50% can get very far, make a lot of money, but are fucked bad. Then there's a 10% that are elite, that are very powerful. As soon as they get powerful, they leave karma. Okay. The 10 percentile, they can leave karma too. They're that powerful. And then what happens is they go to transitory states, which they usually sleep through. And then eventually, over a good period of time, they wind up back in karma. And they don't know it quite clearly till it's too late. And then they're back to the bottom ranking, like where I'm at, out of the 40 percentile that are really fucked. So, from the top to the bottom, that shows you a rigmarole, really. I don't usually use that word, but it really is. Karma is that corrupt. Now, I'll explain why. It's intelligence over the excessive guttural reality or instinct. The excessive guttural reality or instinct is the most frightening thing ever. But then it goes to other proportions. Not to confuse it either. It goes to like sex and love proportions, circumstances. The reason why the most fucked people are always fucked is because of a circumstance, really. Now, the problem is that's what gets everyone to karma, circumstances. It's kind of like a whirlpool. When there's several whirlpools, you get whirlpooled into the wheel of karma. Karma is like a massive whirlpool. It just whirlpools, it carries, you eventually wind up in karma. But the problem is this. I'll show you the problem. Before you were in karma, you were fucked too, but you could exist better. The problem of this, you have to know proportions, really, to know why the echelons of humanity are like how they are. I give you another proportion. Lucy, the fish reptile, who's like a god. Massive giant. Massive. Like God is a smaller one in her proportion, in her hierarchy. And she's always screwed in her own hierarchy. Always. Really screwed. Now, that's really the proportion. She's the smartest one. One of them. Why? Now, I'll explain what all these purport. That's a clearer picture because the power of Lucy is incredible. And her hierarchy is very powerful. Now, you want to know what that means in English? Well, the ones who are really fucked a lot are very smart and very hot, but that's not the whole point. It's about something more particular than features. It happens to be about a circumstance that is always enigmatic or resembles a paradox. Those two factors are in. Enigmatic and paradox, but I'll tell you the real problem. It looks like something so clear, eventually after a long period of existence, to why existence is like it. Now, we don't have much power apparently, but we do in various other ways, which creates problems for us, really. If you're unknowing of it, I can explain it to you now, what the power is. The people who are the most fucked in the 40 percentile have a power that is very odd, really. An odd power. It doesn't usually help you when you understand it either, but when you know really why. It's not about deities. It's not about virtually anything that you've ever fathomed before. It happens to be a power that is very perplexing, about something that always changes. It's a very unusual thing. What we can do, really, unknowingly or not, is mess up the whole dice throw. That's really our power. What the dice throw is the biggest picture. But that's the most complicated thing. I can give an example of the biggest picture, Glorious Accident, and also Time Zero by Jay Gould, talks about the biggest picture. But he was aware of a lot. And he was one of the smartest people in that field that he's in, paleontology or something like it. He was very interesting. You want to know how difficult that is to deal with. That's why we stretch so far, but really we don't have the power. All we do is screw things up, really. For guess who? Not ourselves. That's the comedy too. Not ourselves. We don't screw things up for ourselves, which we always think we do. We screw things up for anything virtually always very powerful. Now you see how complicated existence is. Now you tell me something about it.